Arc 3, episode 27 of the DNR podcast is brought to you today by WorldAnvil.com. It's time to get your home game in order and share your homebrew worlds with World Anvil. World Anvil is an extensive group of tools to get your game into shape and share it with the world. You can use it as a wiki for D&D 5e or 30 other major game systems. Keep track of your towns, your cities, your NPCs, and much more by using World Anvil today. And guess what? You can get 20% off a 6-month or 12-month subscription to World Anvil just by using the codes DNR or Dungeons and Randomness at checkout. You'd be supporting a great group of folks, and I highly suggest you check them out today. Previously for Group A, after battling the Fang 2 consecutive times in the town of Durnhollow, the gang was finally defeated, but at a major cost, as Clifford died in combat, and Maddy, Masoka, and Donovan were bitten, and that's where we pick things up today. Let's do that thing where we go around the table and introduce ourselves. I'm Jason, I'm the Dungeon Master, going down the table starting with Xavier.
Hello, I'm Xavier, and I play Donovan Vice, the human fighter paladin.
And Robert.
Hey, I'm Rob. I'm playing Skalnar Hisk, the dragonborn paladin rogue.
And Kelsey.
I'm Kelsey, and I'm playing Aster, the elven fighter rogue. I've reached over 200 hours in Animal Crossing.
Achievement unlocked?
No, not on the Switch.
Well, I had to do an update because the last time we did that, so just let everyone know.
You're right, yeah. Now, listeners at home, take a guess at whether that was a week, a day, a month. Who knows how long it's been since the last one was recorded.
Time doesn't exist anymore, it's fine.
And Michael.
Hey, I'm Michael, and I play Amvin, the half-elf wizard.
And our Twilight couple. Susan.
Do this together and finish each other's sentences?
I can't do it.
Wait, were you gonna do like an impression? Were you gonna do like a Christmas?
Like when you do the answering machine message as a couple?
Oh
No?
God, no! Don't do that.
Okay,
That's just creepy.
all right.
Yeah, no, thank you. Hi, I'm Susan. I play Madeline Greenwood, the soon-to-be vampire human cleric.
And James.
And I'm James, and I play Masoka, the half-elf rogue, dying, soon-to-be vampire scum.
Oh, wow.
Well, last session was rough. I think we could all agree on that. You lost a party member, which, well, we haven't posted an episode yet, so I still don't know how people are going to take that. I know how people are going to take that. But,
I know how people...
Yeah, I know how people get that. But that's fine. That's fine.
Some people are going to be happy.
A lot of people are going to be happy. But three of you are bitten, and two of you know that, meta-wise, that you're going to be vampires. So, before we jump into things today, how are you feeling? Susan and James, are you okay?
With the outcome?
Yeah.
With how the events have turned?
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
I'll play it.
I'm struggling to make it work for Maddy, but I think I could. It'd just be a journey.
Okay. Let's see where it takes us as these children play outside. I hate them. So we're picking up in Durnhollow. And you guys have chased down this group of vampires and exterminated them all. Sadly, we lost Clifford. Papa Grimness is dead. after this fight, I would say, to a degree, Masoka's probably a little sobered up. Like, the blood's pumping. There's that. You get hit, you get whacked a few times, and it's gonna snap you out of it a little bit. What?
Yeah.
What do you guys want to do here? Like, how would you react to seeing this utter carnage, like just laying out in this alleyway?
Who's first?
So I know, like, Aster hasn't been, like, I mean, they were, like, far back, like, they haven't seen any of it yet, and just, like, after everything, they just kind of, like, take a few moments just to breathe, because that was a lot. Like, really, like, as far as, like, from what they can see, everyone is still alive right now, so they're just, like, wiped out, and just taking a few seconds before they get closer.
Would Skalnar count this as a win? Being as how you... Like, you're not super close to the party yet or anything. Like, would this be kind of job done? All these vampires are dead?
I mean, that's too simple, right? Like...
Right.
There was a significant cost. So he's kind of waiting to, like, read the group. He's taking it all in. He's clearly he's not, like, celebrating by any stretch.
As the haste spell is wearing off, like, that wave of lethargy is gonna wash over Donovan, and he's gonna stumble over to, like, a wall of a building nearby, and just as he walks, drop the weapons he had in his hand and kind of, like, untie some straps and, like, let some gear fall off as he just rests his back on the wall and sort of just slumps down and, like, lets his whole body just slide down to the ground and just kind of look up at the starry night and just take deep breaths and just, like, panting and looking back at the group, but barely even able to, like, talk, or he's just out of everything.
Amvin does the same, but he's been healed, but he's still exhausted, and his clothes have tons of blood, but it's all dried blood. There's no open wound. And looking over everybody, and looks back to see the carnage behind him. Did Skalnar, if I remember right, you ran back to Donovan?
There was a lot of back and forth. It was, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually can't remember, like, where I ended up No, I think I ended up closer to the rest of the party long term.
I think you gave the final blow to Papa Grimness, and then the other vampire probably. Yeah. I think you were with Donovan.
Yeah, I remember you pinballing back and forth quite a bit.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I got to be here. I got to be there. Oh, geez. Okay. So yeah, I don't really know, actually.
Aster will kind of, like, walk up towards the group, and then they're gonna do like just, like, looking over everyone, just seeing, okay, no one's in, like, real dire straits. It doesn't seem. I mean, they're kind of, like, your positioning, because, I mean, which is not unusual in a lot of fights, or, like, they haven't really been hit at all, but just, like, the stress of seeing all of their friends, like, getting pretty badly hurt, and also not being able to do much against these vampires is pretty rough. And then, like, after they kind of, like, do that, they're just going to kind of pause and then sort of look around at everyone, and then look to the sides, and they just see, like, blood and everything, and then just, where's Clifford?
Well, I think Masoka, if he hadn't been down already, he's probably down now, at least down on his knees, and he's probably got his hand on, I guess he got bitten in the neck, and because that's probably throbbing, and he's sweating, and his eyes are probably stinging from the sweat, and he's trying to look around, and he, to see how everyone's doing, and if he hears Aster say, "Where's Clifford?" he would probably start looking for him as well.
just while this was going on, Maddy does her usual of it go into business mode. There's injured people, gotta heal. So I'm just gonna start doing that while this unfolds.
Are you gonna go to Donovan?
Yeah.
He, like, if you come close to him, he'd put his hand up and go, Don't, I put you all in this mess. I don't need healing. Not now.
Maddy falters for a moment, and then she actually digs into her pocket. I know this seems odd timing, but I got this for you earlier while shopping. And she throws you something, and it's a holy symbol of Alondra. Maybe you could try healing yourself.
He'll stare at it, and he'll nod, and he'll look back at you and say, "Go take care of the others." Maddy, I'm so sorry. I should have been the only one who got bit.
She's just gonna kneel down because she was close to you and just put a hand on your cheek and just look at Donovan right in the eyes. It's okay. It's not your fault. And then she'll stand up and start assessing the rest of the party.
At this point, I think Aster's starting to get a bit more panicked. It's like Clifford hasn't appeared from anywhere, and they're like really like starting to like look at the bodies and stuff. And like,
I think a second glance.
Yeah.
And you'd be able to see it. There is, for anyone rounding the corner, and anyone not knowing Clifford, they would see a small, 11, 12-year-old looking boy, dead, just in a heap of blood.
Yeah, as soon as they see that, and they're just still for a moment as they're just connecting what they're actually seeing, and then they just kind of collapse a little bit, just sort of fall just kind of on their knees. They're still holding on to their bow. They haven't put anything up yet, and they're just gonna kind of just, then you're just staring at his body.
So the boy, he was a vampire, yes? I mean, you did not have a child combatant, right? That
right. We saved him. From the Countess. It's like we didn't do much better after all. And
so Skalnar walks a little closer to the carnage and says, "Was he older than he looks? I must confess I do not fully know how vampires age." And he looks a little closer and he says, "Especially one turned so early."
He was a child. He was just a kid, and he just had a bunch of shitty stuff that happened to him, and we were gonna take him to Aubrey because there are other vampires there, and it's gonna be a place that he could learn to live.
Was he raised in violence? Was he always a combatant like this?
I'd say he was more inspired by us than anything else. I hadn't known anything prior.
I think by this time, Masoka probably clued in on where he was or whatever and saw him. He'd come walking up to and just look down at Clifford. And, this is my fault.
This is all of our fault.
No, the kid looked up to me. I encouraged him to get into this.
No.
And then I took away his weapon.
This is all of us, because this is what we do. We just run into situations and it somehow works out, except then it doesn't, and that's... And when he copied us, we just kind of... told him not to do that? Just sort of yelled at him? We needed to... We don't even know if he had family or parents that made it out that would be with the refugees or anything. If there's anyone that would care about him, that... He was just a kid.
Donovan would approach the group slowly for that conversation. He'd put his hand on Aster's shoulder. For all we know, we were his family. And yeah, we cared for him. And Masoka, Aster, this is the Fang's fault. Everything that's happened to Clifford is the Countess's fault. We've done everything we could for this kid.
Did you? I mean, clearly at some point he was encouraged by his abilities and his company. Perhaps he could be a part of what you do, what we all do.
I was teaching him how to shoot so that he could stay in range at least, and again, the plan was once we got to Aubrey, he would stay there. He wasn't supposed to be with us forever. We were just taking him somewhere safe.
He was just a kid who was given incredible powers, who's seen probably the most insane, fucked up shit back at the castle. The cruelty he must have witnessed with the Countess, I can't even imagine. I can't begin to imagine what Clifford saw. And what do kids do when they get a big sword? They want to swing it around. And seeing that he was with us, he wanted to impress us. He wanted to prove himself. We tried what we could to stop him, but he was Clifford. He was such a strong kid. There was no stopping him.
We could have talked to him like a person, but we don't talk to each other even. It's just all of a sudden we come back and we're running after a group of vampires with no rhyme or reason. I mean, well, yes, reason, but just... I'm not supposed to be the person that's saying to take a step back and think and talk about stuff. That's not who I am, but we don't do that, and now he's dead.
Aster, it seems like you'd rather blame yourself than blame the Fang and the Countess. The moment we got here, in that alley, we turned the corner, they already slaughtered Clifford. Without remorse, without hesitation, he was dead. His head was cut off. These bastards, they killed a kid on sight. The Countess's kid, the one whose parents she killed, and yet here you are blaming yourself again.
Well, yeah, and that's fucked. But this vendetta against her is just, I mean, we could barely even take down her fucking grunts. Like, that's just gonna get more of us dead.
Yeah, and that's right. It's only going to get harder from here. So if anyone here wants to drop this, then now's the time to stop. But I'm not backing down. Let's clean those bodies up and go sit down and talk. Aster, you're right. We should talk, but let's bury Clifford and let those bastards burn in the sunlight.
We should check to see if they had anything on them important or whatever.
Yeah.
Masoka would probably, whatever flask or flasks he had on him, he'd be dumping them right now. This would have gone a lot different if I hadn't got drunk. I was shit out there, and I could have saved somebody.
Regret can be a powerful motivator. Hold on to that. Don't forget it. I will not let you forget you've said it.
Who are you again?
Oh.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
Guys, this is my friend Skalnar. Skalnar, this is the rest of the Fearless Titans.
The what?
Skalnar, I'm so sorry I roped you into this. But I don't think we could have all survived without you. And I'm in your debt for the help you've given us today.
No need. This is my calling, bringing justice. Now, granted, we could have done better. We're going to figure out how to do better. Because this is not something we can keep doing.
No, it's not. Let's find a place to bury him.
What if we don't have to bury him?
What do you mean?
And Maddie's clutching her amulet of Monitor. I could still feel a spark. I think I could try.
Wait. He's... You mean, like, bring him back? That's a thing that you can, like, actually do?
I could, I don't know, I could feel something. I've never, it's different. I don't.
Would it even work? Because he's, like, was already dead?
Isn't it a good sign that I could feel something?
It's a wonderful sign, Maddy, but
I don't know anything about this stuff. I didn't even really think that would be possible.
Think about last time, though. How much we paid for that outcome. It took a toll on all of us as a group. We barely made it out with everyone back. And he'd take your hands with his hands too. Like, he's not trying to be like to like block your idea or tell you what to do. But even if Clifford came back, do you think he could live on a normal life after all he's been through and come back possibly without his powers? Do you think he would stop putting himself in danger?
Oh, so he'd actually get the chance to, like, grow up and stuff?
I don't know.
He could grow up and have a normal life, but he could also carry with him an insane burden, insane trauma for the rest of his life. He could turn out like Masoka. And he says that with a smile, of course.
He could turn out like any of us. you mean?
Masoka doesn't take the humor and actually like pulls up his collar to cover his bite.
Oh, you're one of those guys.
I was gonna say he popped his collar, and I thought that's not the right term to use. Okay.
Oh, so he's super cool. Okay.
He's a lost boy. Yeah. Just Kiefer Sutherland. Anyway.
Amvin comes up to Maddy. What do you mean you can feel him?
It's kind of like when I heal someone, I feel their energy, my energy infused with theirs. But I feel it there, whatever's there. I don't.
Even if you even try it, I mean, Donovan just said. Do you remember what happened last time in Aubrey? I mean,
this isn't blood magic. This is what my god has given me.
It is not without a price, though, right?
No, but isn't a 12-year-old boy worth it?
As the person who would pay that price, I think only you can decide. No one can ask you to do this. But if you choose...
Maddy, we grew up together. I'm going to say it. I'm going to be selfish. I would rather not trade you for him. I don't want to lose you. And then we go down and look, we've lost too many people. I don't even know how this works.
Maddie's gonna flip her braid to the other side, and it was covering up the gash on her neck, and she's gonna say, "You may have already lost me." Fuck.
I immediately try to sense magic, do some kind of like, check to see what I can, like. I obviously know it's a bite, but like, I've never really dealt with vampires. I don't know if it's innately magical or even maybe it's the virus, I think, but I don't really know that. I don't think, unless you could tell me. They cover Vampire 101 in you're in college.
It's an elective.
It is a magical virus, so yes, you can definitely. It's not like a spell or a ritual or something like that, but there is like trace amounts of. You could pick something up, you could sense it. So essentially that could be from the bite itself. It's not a surefire, like, you're infected or you're not. Like, you'd probably pick it up on Donovan too.
Okay. So then I'm going to try to tune in and sense that. And then, since you're saying I picked it up on Donovan, I guess I could. How I don't know how close everyone is, but would I feel the ping from both Donovan and Masoka?
I would say
I'm happy rolling anything.
Okay, give me an Arcana check firstly. I'll tell you what you feel. Oh,
nothing.
Never mind. Go back to what you were doing. You're fine.
Cool.
You don't really pick up much. Basically, I think at that level, if you roll a 10, which is with the plus 7 modifier, it's basically
what I'm good at.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you're going to pick it up coming off of like Maddy, Masoka, and Donovan. But again, that might be confused for the vampires in the alley and stuff like that. It might be like trace amounts, like residual stuff.
So, I'll say I have that like distant stare that when I'm thinking doing magic. You're not out yet. Let's find. There's something about this. There could be any number of answers out there. Don't count yourself out yet. And trying to I'm totally just in denial, but
I agree with Amvin, Maddy. The three of us, and he looks at Masoka too. We need to focus on the living for now. We need to focus on living for the days to come. We're gonna need it. We're gonna need each other. Masoka's gonna need you.
Do you even know that Masoka was bit?
Well, I mean, it would happen in combat, right?
Wow.
I think you were at the other end of the alley, though.
Should I roll for it?
Okay, I'll
'Cause
describe it like this.
It's probably not subtle being bit in combat by a vampire.
Well, it's not subtle. Okay,
Combat's pretty chaotic.
It is, yes. The way vampires work in Theria, it's not just like the Top Fangs, Bram Stoker's Dracula sexy bite. It's fangs on the top and bottom of the jaw, and they rip chunks out. Like, there would be blood. Like, it is not a subtle act to bite somebody.
Okay, so we're missing pieces of ourselves.
Like, little bits, yeah, like,
So, if you'd rather me not know because you puffed your collar up and you disguised it, that's fine too. I'll just retcon what I said.
No, it's fine. I mean,
But it also it makes sense, like, out of like even not knowing.
But here's the thing. Again, there was enough going on in that combat and everyone was so scattered. Here's what we'll do.
There would be blood everywhere anyway.
Give me a stealth check.
Ooh.
We'll see if you're the zombie bite guy. It's like, oh no, I'll just pull my sleeve down.
You still have disadvantage.
Let's say he's sobered enough. I think 2 sessions
You
is
deserve
enough
it.
penalty.
You've earned it.
Oh,
shit.
Wow.
All right. Well, he didn't notice it, despite your collar just getting soaked. Like, in
Well,
red.
hey, so what that means is that Masoka is just otherwise drenched in so much blood that you
Except
Yeah.
there.
I bet everyone's probably drenched in blood.
Probably, yeah.
Bloodborne over here.
It's a real, like...
Aster's fine.
It's a
Yeah.
real 80s
Okay.
metal music video in here. So that's a crit. So that's a 29. You pull your collar up and over your head and disappear. Like you just, you're gone.
Even the vampire was like, did I bite him?
Did I bite? I don't know.
So Donovan wouldn't mention Masoka then, and he'd show his own neck wound, and he'll be like, I'm gonna need you, Maddy, the next couple of days, and I'll be there for you too.
I don't think Masoka's clued in enough to know what Maddy's talking about. But as the conversation goes, it's kind of like, oh, she's going to be doing something that could obviously risk her life or something. And he would see that she got bit, I assume, unless she's trying to hide it.
No, she revealed. And big reveal, hair flip. Look at this.
Yeah. Then I think Masoka would go up to her and just she's like, Maddy, I'm so sorry that happened to you, but it sounds like you're willing to put your life out there for someone else right now. I don't think, not just me, I don't think anyone's ready for that right now.
Do you have to decide now? I mean, I don't know how. This is not the area that I'm mastered. If you don't do it now, it gets worse?
It feels strong. I think maybe a few days. No, not a few days. A day? I don't know. At least a day. I just don't want to make the decision that my life is worth more than someone else's.
Then maybe we should take a day, talk, maybe half a day, and really figure out the craziness that has been the last few days.
Jason, what time of night is it?
It was late enough that it's the sun is set, but the bars are still all open and stuff like that.
Okay.
Let's say by the time all this is said and done, and you guys have had a nice a nice chat about everything and time to process. Let's say it's like 10:30, 11 o'clock, somewhere in there.
There isn't like an eclipse going on or something, is there?
No, not yet.
I don't even know what in the timeline we are at as far as that thing.
The 8th of Ultaorn. So it's coming.
You all seem to need a moment, so I will be the one to talk. Does that sound good? My name is Skalnar Hisk. I introduced myself to Donovan formally, but we have only gotten to know each other in battle. Myself and the rest of you. You are all very competent at this. I saw that much from fighting alongside you. But you are worn out. Emotionally and physically. We do need to stop and rest. You need to clear your heads. Maddy says she thinks she can do this later if she so chooses. So take your time. I do have a question for you, though. What do we want to do with our foes? Are we cleaning up, or are we sending a message? Do we want to let the Countess know that her days are numbered?
I don't want more of the Fang to come here and punish this town for what we did. I'd rather them turn to dust in the morning and let it be the end of it. The Countess, I don't think the Countess would notice if her pawns would go missing.
Yeah.
Fair enough, and good point. So perhaps we get a cart, move the bodies outside of town where they are less likely to generate rumors?
I could take care of this. We don't have to move them.
Before we should see, especially on the tiefling, if there was anything important, I don't know, orders from her, like what they're even doing here.
Donovan will gesture at Colores and go to Aster, like, by all means.
Yeah, I mean, I guess search the bodies just to...
Let's search some bodies. So, let's run some pockets first. Give me 5d10.
Ooh. That's that. Times.
Beautiful. You're going to find 29 gold.
Okay.
I would say, while you find a couple of weapons and such, I wouldn't say there's like really rare items or anything like that, but you will find a couple of items on Calros. Clearly, he was the leader of this group, and you're going to find a key. And you know what? Give me an investigation check.
Can I ask Amvin to investigate it for me?
Yes, you can. Of course. Teamwork.
I will hand over the key to Amvin to look at.
Is the investigation check for the key or to further search the body?
No, key.
We're gonna need a key ring for all these keys we keep finding.
I don't want to talk about my int score.
It's great.
If you kind of like if you hand it over to Amvin and are like, hey, what do you make of this? Skalnar volunteers to assist you, Amvin.
Hey, nerd boy.
Okay.
So what's the roll to assist again?
Just whoever's making the actual check gets advantage.
Okay, I will roll to assist. I will roll poorly to assist. Holy moly! It's been a long one.
You don't even need to roll, is the thing.
Huh? I'm just assisting. Okay.
Yeah. So you just say, I'm looking too, and
okay. So that roll was not against me. Very good.
That was easy.
Yeah, that was bad. Wow. Okay, Skalnar is quote air quotes helping, I guess.
Looking over the shoulder.
Help.
Let's add Skalnar's 8. 25.
Hey!
All right. He helped great. So this key is clearly older. And Amvin has been to a place recently where that key would probably fit in just fine. That would be the Countess's castle. This opens some door there. Could be the front door, could be some hideaway chamber, something like that. But this is clearly a key to that place.
You guys.
Yeah, this key is maybe a ticket in, a secret way in, if we ever come up with a plan to go back to the Countess. Yeah, the architecture on here looks the same of castle.
Is it architecture if it's like
Wow,
not a building?
it's the design.
Are you going to argue with that int score, Kelsey? Are you
No,
gonna...
that's like Aster's like legitimately asking because for all they know it might be.
Because I don't know.
Like, wait a second, I thought I was like, is it? 'Cause...
Or if you look at the inlays here, you see how this curves?
Whatever you say, bud.
Can't wait to get those angry emails from architects.
Key nerds.
God, because like Aster like found this key and just like and just kind of like shoved it at Amvin. It's just like, here you go. This is for you.
You're also going to find a note.
Mm-mm.
The note is explicit instructions for this crew of vampires to shake the people down and essentially see how malleable they are, whether they roll over quickly, whether they would give some pushback, and then report back to the Countess to see if there is any incentive to push outward.
Well, Aster will hand that over after reading it to Amvin. Just, well, there's our ticket to convincing Winterhaven to help.
Agreed.
If Skalnar gets a moment to like look over the note and read it, he goes, "Looks like we answered her question."
Yes. And just like, I don't remember, but did we end up leaving with the Countess, like a letter from the Countess, or we just took her word from it when we left her castle? Like, oh, this is what I'm gonna do, blah blah blah. I won't encroach like outside.
I believe there was a note to take, like a formal, like, you're on notice type of thing. Like,
So that would come in direct contradiction. Like, it'd be like,
oh yeah,
playing both sides, basically.
Basically, she's getting ambitious.
Cool. Okay, it's great for us. That's great for us.
Is that Donovan saying that, or is that
No. Let's celebrate. Okay, cool. So what does it say? All right, I guess we got what we wanted from them. Great thinking, Aster. Yeah, this is definitely our ticket to convincing the others. Maddy?
Let's get them all in one place. It'll make this easier. And then after we do that, get them all together, Maddy's gonna do Sacred Flame.
Ooh, that's hot.
Yeah. So this blinding white light engulfs them, and then that white light, you could see flames dancing from it. Like, that's how intensely hot this light is.
Are we talking all the bodies, or
not
except for one?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I just wanted to clarify. At a certain point, this older woman is going to round the corner and see this, like see the flames, and you can kind of hear her as she gets closer, kind of shuffling, like she's kind of wearing like flip flops type of thing, like sandals. Like you can hear her every once in a while. There'd be like loose dirt or stone, something like that, and just kind of kind of smaller, shuffly steps. And in a weak voice, her version of calling out, "Are you all right?"
None of us answer.
Yeah,
just long silence. You all just look.
Like almost everyone in this party is covered in blood. Like,
bye-bye, and she just leaves. Like, no.
For real?
No. She's
That was really good though.
honestly, if she let's roll perception. This she has eyesight troubles.
Disadvantage.
Yeah, this ain't great. 8. She even with an 8, obviously there's a fire, and it's a biggin, and like you guys don't look great. Like she's definitely not seeing that popped collar. Like that's we know that. But there's some degree of disheveled going on with everybody, and you guys just look distraught. So like the clothes, she's not going to like shy away, because at first she might think it's like, are they warming themselves? Was there an accident, something like that? Because it's not like a trash can fire where you guys are all getting warm. This is like a huge bonfire.
Donovan would turn around and like approach her with extended arms, going, "Oh yes, everything's great, my young lady. We just have a couple clerics of a monitor over here preparing for the everlasting day festival."
Wow,
getting them flames going.
Did you just invent a holiday to this woman?
Oh,
Maybe.
Everlasting Day Festival Day.
Maddie's gonna walk up.
Wait,
Put a hand on
You're
Donovan's
busy with
shoulder.
the fire.
You roll a deception.
That is a
Don't
snap
you
of
dare.
her fingers. It is a cantrip, sir.
Oh my God.
God damn it. Oh, there's so many new holidays, I can't keep track of them.
I know, me too.
I'm not a practicing a monitorian myself, so I don't keep... When is Lent? And then she would...
Who knows, really?
God.
Have a good night, madam. It's been a pleasure meeting you.
So, okay, wait. Maddie is approaching her, right? Or not now?
No, she would be, but then she just... Oh, what? That's what her face is doing. So now she's just standing there with her arms crossed, looking at Donovan, going, what?
Okay, Skalnar will try to step in and clean this up. Where are you headed, ma'am? Are you lost? These streets are not necessarily safe at night.
Oh, my home is just around the corner. I heard a commotion, and I just wanted to make sure everyone was all right. She's kind of at a loss for words.
Skalnar will step up beside her and stick out his elbow and say, "Would you like me to escort you the rest of the way? I know I would feel more comfortable if you were not in this alley with..." He looks at our party. Strange things going on.
Oh, I thought you were calling them strange things.
Not wrong.
Kettle black right there. Yeah.
Well, aren't you a sweet, scaly man?
That is what my wife tells me. Anyway.
She'd do that thing where, like, she wraps, like, she takes you arm in arm, and then she'd, like, pat your forearm. It's like, oh, such manners. You don't see that too often these days. You are welcome to join me for tea. I don't say this lightly, but you all look a little worse for wear.
It is a bad time for tea, but we should get you to safety. Come, lead on.
I understand. Perhaps another time. You have the vampirism to deal with and such.
What?
Skalnar just blinks.
What was that, ma'am?
The vampirism. And she's going to point at Maddy and Masoka. You two. You're dying, right?
Even under his hood, you can see Masoka's eyes get wider.
Why don't you join us for the festival, ma'am?
Well, it is a little chilly, but a little fresh air never hurt anyone. And she's gonna kind of, she's wearing a shawl. And she's going to kind of, like, pull it up a little bit. Like, it's like, now I'm ready. That type of thing. Just,
And Aster will kind of, like, whisper over to Donovan, just like, didn't you get bit too?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Aster just like, I don't know what's going on anymore.
Yeah. Skalnar is like mouthing to Donovan, like, what are you doing mouthing?
Yeah, Skalnar tried to, it's like, I was taking her back home. What are you doing? Like, and she joins the party.
All right, quick, give her topo.
All right, you sons of bitches. And then she just runs in. And
This one's for you, meth guys, Dave.
This is what you get, fan base for hating on Clifford.
Masoka would like to know more.
Yeah.
You seem unusually well informed about vampires. Is that common knowledge in this town?
Oh, no, dear. It's, you could say it's my purview. And she's going to turn to Donovan. Don't worry, son, you'll be fine.
Ma'am, are you magic?
Are you magic?
Are you magic?
Are you magic? Amvin literally sighs.
On a scale of 0 to unicorn, how magic are you?
I've asked that of my mechanic once or twice. It's like, oh, okay, you got it running. Are you magic?
If I give you a shake, does pixie dust come out?
Yeah.
An angel.
I'm afraid I don't quite take your meaning, dear.
No, she doesn't know what she's talking about. I wasn't even bit.
But she just said that Donovan was. How did? There's a lot has been happening tonight, and.
Okay, I know about lying. She could be lying. Okay, she might have saw vampires running around here before, just like we did.
Why would she lie?
Okay, so Skalnar will pipe up. It says this party has clearly collapsed into confusion. And just say, let's start over. What is your name and what do you do?
I am being terribly rude. I am so sorry, young man, after you've shown me such manners. My name is Sable. I don't really do anything here these days. Functionally retired, for the time being. May I ask your name?
I am Skalnar Hisk, and well, I've just met all of these adventurers, but we are working together conditionally, I guess. It's a new arrangement. We haven't talked it out yet.
Yeah, she's going to be looking around the party and kind of taking it in, kind of sidling up next to the fire, and just kind of like warming her hands on it every once in a while.
Over the bodies?
Kind of, yes. Yeah.
Well, she knows like her way around vampires. I'm going to question it. She clearly has some kind of history.
She's a witch from Brave.
No, she's a hedgehog and she runs a clothing store.
Yeah, I thought that when I heard Sable.
I don't get it. I don't play Animal Crossing. I'm going to assume that that's where that's coming from.
That's probably a good
Yes.
guess. You're dealing with people in the multiple triple digits here.
Turnips. So as she kind of walks closer to the group and the fire and kind of just deflects every question we've been asking her, Donovan's just at a loss for words, doing the like Jackie Chan meme face, like as she walks in front of him, walks past him.
So Skalnar will pull up a seat beside her and say, "Well, Sable, how did you come to know so much about vampires?"
Oh, it's not like they're new or anything. I'm going to guess, and she's going to point at Maddy. You set this fire.
Yes.
Excellent job, dear. Really got him roasting.
Masoka's gonna look at Maddy and just like, don't listen to her. You're not dying.
Did you say that, or just kind of like look at her?
No, he says that to Maddy.
She's gonna turn to Masoka. Don't worry, dear. Death isn't so bad. It's what comes after you have to worry about. That wasn't the plan, of course, but you have to roll with the punches now and then.
Skalnar will start looking at her teeth, like, are you a vampire kind of thing?
Oh, are you opening her mouth no,
just trying to catch a subtle glance of
oh, okay,
tongue depressor.
Yeah, say yeah, give me perception.
You look like you could use a very long and probing kiss.
Yes, that's what our listenership wants.
Dragon old lady cross.
I've been waiting to roleplay this for years.
You guys found my DeviantArt page.
Let me just take these teeth out.
Are they vampire?
Vampire dentures.
Okay, so I'm making a perception check.
Yes, you are.
Okay. 13.
13's not bad. It's not like she's moving around a lot. You're not going to see fangs. There's not a ton of older vampires that you know of. I mean, yes, there are a ton of older vampires, but not a ton that live through being bitten that old. No offense to Sable, just she's on the older side.
Yeah, that's true. I guess I wasn't thinking about that. Okay, so at this point, Skalnar's getting a little impatient with her. So he kind of just snorts and he says, "I get the feeling you know more and are more attuned to your surroundings than I first ascertained. So, why don't you just fill us in?"
Yep. Plan? You said something about a plan. Was that a general phrase, or is there some kind of destiny, something going on here?
She's gonna kind of smile, the destiny thing is that's what a wonderful thought. But she'll probably pause for a second. I am being terribly cryptic. I am sorry. How about we just cut through the bull donkey? I really think you should come in for a cup of tea. Get away from all this hustle and bustle. They're not going anywhere. And she's going to be pointing at the pile of burning bodies.
Okay.
Yeah, Donovan's going to nod.
Do you have a place we could set the boy? And he points toward Clifford's body.
Of course. I'm very sorry about that, by the way. I take it you were close.
Not me, but the others, perhaps. Like I said, I'm new.
We didn't know him as well as we could have, but we were, I don't know, hopefully some kind of happiness after a period of Not that.
Can I read her at all? I don't know if it's an insight or something, but I just want to kind of see if I can find any undertone in it that's being said, saying "come with us" so I can make a lantern out of your skin, or is she "come with us"? I want to try to get an understanding of who she is.
I mean, yeah, that's insight, maybe.
Yeah, I was leading on. Do I check to see if she's got a magical aura, or do I want to check for her? But I guess really just want to make sure that she's not going to just try to kill us. There's a lot of us, but I don't know.
You're afraid of this old woman, man? I mean, you should be, but I mean, the rest of the group is pretty able-bodied.
I'm cautious of everything.
Well, you don't get the sense that she's proficient in making lanterns of human skin.
What about dragon skin?
Maybe tea cozies? Maybe.
I'm gonna do one more. Donovan's gonna furrow his brow real hard and wince at her, and I'm gonna expand a divine sense. Try to see if I can feel out if she's either celestial, fiend, or undead. Otherworldly, that is.
You're doing that now?
Well, kind of as people are talking.
So she'll probably be if you guys are starting to motion towards her house, which is half a block away. It's not. And Donovan's doing that. She's probably turned away from Donovan, walking in a direction, and she'll kind of turn back to Donovan and give a smile, a slight, kind of an "I know more than you" smile.
Yeah, his furrowed expression is just everything's just relaxing and out of surprise, and he's just go "Oh shit," and he'll just follow her.
And this old woman's house, it's so tiny. It's like one of those brick buildings that's way too skinny. You walk in and it's clearly, it's definitely very mildly furnished. There's when you walk in, there's a kitchen area and a dining room set, a nice little round table where everyone can sit, and that takes up a bulk of the first floor. And then there's a set of stairs that leads up. And she would ask everybody to come in. There's a soul lantern lit on the table, illuminating the area, kind of very dimly. You could sit anywhere you like. Please try to make yourself comfortable. I know you've had a terrible evening.
Skalnar will take a seat.
Yeah, Aster's happy to sit on the floor.
And she'd light a fire and put a tea kettle on or something like that. How do you like your tea? Stronger, weaker? I know it's late, but adventuring types could go all night, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Strong is fine.
Yeah, hit us with the strong stuff.
Aster will help get mugs out and stuff if she starts to do that. Just
you get the sense that she doesn't entertain company very often, so the mugs are set on a shelf just above her.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly.
Thank you, dear. And as this water heats up and everything, she's going to go ahead and get it all ready. So that this small space is just filled with that fresh brewed tea smell. These are very, very dangerous times. I don't envy you being out on the road so often, as tonight is such a grim example.
Yeah, we've had our fair share of trouble.
Forgive me for saying so, but I was sensing some turmoil, a little strife within the group. It's more than understandable, of course, but is there something I could do, perhaps? A third party you can talk to?
We just had a very busy and confusing couple of few days, weeks. Every day's been crazy.
Masoka's he never sat. He's been up. He's been
Yeah, kind of figured.
agitated. He's been pacing back and forth. He keeps stealing glances at Maddy. And he'll just turn to the woman, Sable, and what gives you the right to come out of nowhere and tell two of us that we're dying? You don't know anything about us. Why don't you come out and just tell us what you're about right now? Because I'm tired of this.
Agreed.
She'd probably be in mid-pour.
Aster will kind of give them like a look like please don't piss off the probably really powerful scary magic lady. like at this point, like they're just kind of like in shock and exhausted and just like, yep, she's probably like a god or something. They don't know what's up, but just like she knows more than she ought to, so don't make her angry. It's kind of where they're at.
Yeah. Donovan will pick up on that and kind of sit up straighter and with a big smile look to Masoka and just say, Masoka, please, let's be polite. Let's listen to what our host has to say.
Do I pick up?
Go ahead.
Sorry. Do I pick up any magical or at all?
Oh, she's a whiz with tea. Yeah, like she's really good. This is like a special blend. Like she's been saving this for college. Yeah.
Right. Because Amvin isn't a true like God believing person, or even like he knows the gods exist but he doesn't really care. So he's kind of like, all right, he sees Aster and like and this like, oh, here's someone that can be really powerful, but he's like, I don't feel anything, so
right. Like
I don't.
It's one of those things. It's like, well, how do you know? Like that type. Yeah.
Right. He's the skeptic.
Yeah, Aster's just like, I never know anything, so we're just gonna go. Like.
Every time I think I know something, something else happens. So.
Yeah, basically.
She's going to stop pouring and have a seat and probably sit back a little bit and cross her legs, just kind of getting comfy, like she's getting ready to tell a story or something like that. You know, a little patience would go a very long way, young man. But I understand your aggravation, your frustration in the moment.
I don't have any patience right now, because the truth is I was bit. And he's going to pull his collar down. I don't know who you are, but you got me scared. You telling me I'm going to die?
It's been a while since I've had company. I apologize for being so blunt. The news could have been delivered with a bit more tact. I'm sorry.
Masoka if Maddy's sitting, is she?
Yeah.
Or wherever she is, he's gonna go sit down beside her, and he's probably gonna grab her hand.
Actually, that's what Maddy was going to do. So, good job.
Aww.
All right.
How do you know? Desperately clutching Masoka's hand, looking straight into Sable's eyes.
Let me ask you all a question. And this is important. Please, be honest. Because I'll know if you're lying. What do you plan on doing about the Countess?
I know what I want to do.
And she'll kind of raise her eyebrows, like, please, go on.
She's taken 2 away from us already. Maybe that'll turn into 4. As far as I'm concerned, she deserves to die.
She's going to look to the rest of the group. Do you all feel this way?
She took my best friend. She's everything that's wrong. She has to be ended.
She toys with the living. She steals from them, inserts herself as queen, as supreme leader, She welcomes back the citizens of Dunhurst only if they turn themselves to her. She'll release her pawns all over the mainland. No control. She has complete disregard for life. I'm gonna spend the rest of my young and healthy years getting stronger to the point where I can take her down.
Yeah, she doesn't seem like a good person. I don't know what realistically we can do about that. I mean, she was right next to an entire city for forever, and they weren't able to do anything against her. And this was, like, not just dead. I mean, this was Donhurst. Like, they were good at fighting things, and they couldn't do anything about her. I don't know how strong we would have to be to even remotely pose a threat. I've seen things that just wipe people out in a blink of an eye without even noticing. I don't know.
And she's gonna take a sip of tea. Well, I understand your feelings on the matter. And she's going to look at Masoka and Maddy. As I said before, death is nothing to be scared of under normal circumstances, but no one should have to go through what you went through, what Ubo went through, what Clifford went through. No one.
Okay, how do you know their names?
Yeah,
Who are you?
Amvin now sits up straight. Like, he's just like, what?
Aster, who was already kind of terrified, just like, yep, that's par for the course. Just kind of like,
Even Skalnar is like, he's like, you see his lips kind of pucker, and like all this going through his head. It's like, this might be above my pay grade.
Welcome to the group.
Well, you all have some nice and warm tea. Why don't you all put your cups to your lips? Keep listening.
Okay, that sounds like everyone's getting poisoned tonight.
that's
by
looks at
Donovan.
Donovan like,
Well, the comet's coming, everybody. Get drinking.
Take my mask off. It's the Countess.
Donovan's bum.
Did we mention this was Kool-Aid?
I lost a lot of blood, guys.
I think what Donovan is trying to say is everybody shut up and let her talk. We are getting nowhere when we keep interrupting.
Thanks, Skalnar.
Skalnar nods.
Before she goes on, while that was going on, can I just roll a religion?
Go ahead. I don't know why you'd want to, but go ahead.
Because she's super religious. Like, everything's a sign from her god.
Oh my god. She's a monitor. She's a monitor.
Perfect.
Wow, that's a crit, everybody at home. What a great time for a crit. Good job, Susan.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's gonna
I needed
click.
that.
It's gonna click for Maddy, like a switch. Well, I must admit I have been keeping an eye on you for some time. I didn't want to approach. It seemed rude, but we've all been through so much, and for the most part, you seem to want to help, and it just didn't seem fair. And she'd be looking Maddy like dead in the eyes at this point.
Tears are gonna start welling up in Maddie's eyes.
I don't normally do this, but these are desperate times. Have you ever looked around your house one day and realized how unkempt it is. It's filthy, even. And it feels like you've just blinked, and so much time went by. There's dust and dirt everywhere, and it needs a good cleaning. What if I can help you all?
How so?
I'm not averse to cleaning, if I take your meaning correctly.
I mean killing, dear.
That is the meaning I took. We are on the same page, yes.
And she'd kind of like raise her teacup and take a sip, like, excellent, good.
Yeah, Skalnar like curls up into like a kind of faint, fangy smile.
I'm no stranger to the undead, vampires specifically, but while I know that there can be exceptions to the rule, by and large, vampires like these, well, they're not going to stop, sweeties. They're going to keep going, and town by town, just like this one, they, sure enough, will visit them in the night, and it might not be as pleasant as a request next time, if you catch my meaning. They need to be stopped. The question I pose to you is, will you be the ones to stop them?
Just to confirm.
Uh-huh.
This is a monitor, right?
Slightly to the left.
Okay.
Would you ask that?
No.
No.
Maddy can't talk.
Oh.
Did the tears go back up because she guessed wrong?
No. She's still crying.
Oh, you're like openly crying.
Yeah, it's like not sobbing.
It's a pretty
just
religious
silent
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. She would probably stop after the, oh dear, please come here. And she would offer like a handkerchief.
Well, Masoka's not the brightest guy, but he's had contact with the Monitor, obviously. And the fact that she said she's been watching them, and even that I think is enough. He's going to ask. He will ask.
Okay.
So, and he's on the verge of crying too. I mean, he'll look up at her and just, you say you've been watching us from, well, I don't know where. I mean, I would know if somebody was around. But you couldn't be a god, could you?
She'll probably take another sip of tea and grin, and then put her finger up to her lips and just kind of, let's keep that down a little bit while we're in town.
Donovan will stand up and put both his hands on the table and look at her in the eyes and just go, oh, you can't count on me.
Did you say can't?
Can.
Oh, okay.
Oops.
I heard can't too. And
Yeah.
I was,
wow.
No,
Well,
baby, I'm telling
Let's
everybody.
rewind. She's like, all right, offer. That was your only chance. Bye.
Roll for
Shaking
initiative.
things up.
Well, you can count on me.
Oh, that's better.
So Maddy has stood up and shakingly taken the handkerchief. My queen, why have you chosen us?
She's gonna kind of raise a hand. Please, Sable's just fine. Well, there are a few reasons. I wasn't lying when I said that these are desperate times. Truly frightening. And some actions need to be taken in order to keep a balance. And sometimes that involves giving the right people certain tools. Now, I can't take care of the problem for you wholesale, but I do believe you people mean well. And I think you deserve a fighting chance for once. And she'd probably reach out and squeeze Maddy's hand, kind of like reassuring.
Maddy will grip it too tightly for just a second, and then like, oh crap, no, bail.
You can hear a crack, and her hand is just... No.
Oh no. I kind of just want to be like, I don't worship you, right? No.
It's not to say you're not neat. You seem pretty cool, but...
Yeah. It's just I'm kind of on the light side, not the death side.
I signed up early. There's sunk costs. I mean...
I've got a lot invested in this. Have you seen my medallions? I got lots.
I just don't have any room for ravens. I got all this sun memorabilia. I just...
Got to root for the home team.
I'll happily serve.
Please understand that there is quite a level of danger involved in all this, but I don't ask you to do it lightly, and I don't expect you to do it without getting something in return. That's one of the reasons I wanted to speak to you all tonight. When you leave my home, one of two things is going to happen. You can choose to head back to Donhurst and do what needs to be done. And I'll give you tools that might see you have an edge. Or you follow a different path, and perhaps I can find another group willing to give it a try. Of course, there wouldn't be any hard feelings. I understand what I'm asking you to do. But I think it's time that someone balances the ledger a bit. Don't you?
I think, again, I am the new guy. But from what I've heard from everyone else here, you will find no more enthusiastic group for putting that countess into the ground.
This is what I mean by, it's been very busy and crazy. Just one thing after another. As Amvin grins.
Yeah, Aster is absolutely terrified right now.
Would they be showing that, openly?
Oh, they so they kind of sat down on the ground with their tea, and when it was oh yeah, she's absolutely gone, they just kind of curled up almost, like they have like their like knees up, and they're like holding onto the mug, and so like drinking from it kind of, but they just like are just watching this and just like not like they don't like they're not gonna say anything because they don't know what to say, they don't know what they're thinking, but they know that like well before she even got to the part of like go back to Dawnhurst right now and do this, like they are just like like yeah, like just
It's a lot. It's a lot to take in.
yeah, the concept of a god is something that doesn't sit well with them, and they are just kind of really scared right now.
For Skalnar, like what's going through his head is like, yeah, okay, I believe it. You're not like turning it on though, so I'm probably okay. Like, you know, right? Like she's not like surrounding us in a veil of dark feathers and like looming before us with screaming winds or something. You know, it's like, okay, well, I buy it because I believe in gods. Like, I also know how to operate in a hierarchy, and you're offering to load us out. So, yeah, he's for a minute I thought of like, why isn't Skalnar scared? It's like, I guess he just likes. He's like, of course there are gods, and like,
yeah.
Sure, it's strange that they're interceding, but this seems like a really efficient way to get this done.
Basically, a manager from a parent branch of your company.
Yeah. Like,
Oh, it's undercover boss. That's what's going on.
I know how to operate in a hierarchy. What do you want us to do?
So, like, yeah, no, there's no, like, the cold rushing wind and none of that. But, like,
Yeah. I mean, if she turns it on, it'll probably buckle my knees, but...
Right. And I don't expect a Gandalf moment where, you know, do not take me for some conjurer. Like, none of that. Like, but, like, yeah.
My gosh, Jason, when you did that, I could feel your beard on my microphone. Under attack.
I do hit my head on a lot of stuff, so... that's what it takes to be Gandalf, right? It's just head injuries?
I understood that reference.
So, yeah, you're not going to see that. You will hear a squawk eventually, and across the room, sitting on this little end table, will be this little black bird. Not little, but like, you know, a decent-sized bird. Mortimer, be quiet. We have guests.
Mortimer! I love him. New favorite character.
Can we keep it?
Mortimer joins the party. That's the...
Can we steal your bird?
At a certain point, she might look at Maddy. I know this is a lot to take in, and you were probably hoping for someone else, but I assure you that they're quite on board with this idea. And she'll give you a wink.
Maddie's gonna give a small smile and then say back, I've happily spent most of my life in service of the gods. I will do whatever you ask of me.
Skalnar pipes up and says, I don't suppose you've heard from Alvarin as well lately.
Oh, man. Give me an insight check, please.
Ooh.
I said something. I said I hit the hot button, didn't I? What did I do?
You did something. You did a thing.
Okay, you said give an insight?
Yes, please.
That's one of my good ones.
There you go. Oh.
And if I roll a 5, it doesn't go. It's 15.
It is very
Jesus,
good.
that's a plus 10, man.
Yeah.
You insightful bastard.
Yeah.
So, you're gonna... So it's almost imperceptible. But her eyes are gonna dart away for just a minute, like, oh boy, how do I answer that? Well, yes. It's a tricky situation, dear, and we're not all exactly in agreement on how to handle a situation like this. I thought it might be a little more prudent to have a more gentle hand.
I hope your methods aren't too gentle. When I said we were going to do what must be done, I presumed there would be sufficient violence to extract justice for what the Countess has done.
That's not exactly what I mean. Absolutely. Stake her through the heart, dear. That's fine. Not to speak for Alvarin, but her methods are a bit more blunt.
Well, you are here offering to equip us, and she is not, but if she agrees with the outcome, I have no quarrel being a little more subtle.
She is going to finish off her tea and kind of put it down in this saucer. Well, are there any holdouts? Again, no hard feelings for saying no.
I mean, I'd planned on doing this before we even met you. Any vampire who would turn a 12-year-old is a piece of shit.
Language, dear.
Sorry, I'm emotional. I have a question, though. What happens to me and Maddy after this?
Well, what do you want to happen to you and Maddy?
Can't I take one of their places? Is there any way to put what's in there in me?
Donnie, you can't. Don't even. You saved my life once. You're not doing that again.
We're being a bit dramatic here.
Skalnar nods at Sable like,
Being a little young adult. There won't be any need for that. Again, as I said, there's nothing to fear in death. It's an inevitability. It's something that everyone must face eventually. But I can intervene if you don't wish to become one of those creatures.
Don't make it sound too glamorous.
Well, it comes with its own side effects, dear. It's not exactly an easy exchange, but it is one that I'm willing to do if you're willing to go through with it. And if you take care of the Donhurst situation, I can step in for something a bit more permanent.
Well, I can't speak for Maddy, but that sounds all right.
Maddie's gonna be fidgeting with the handkerchief, looking down at it. I don't want to not ever see the sun again.
She's gonna, like, there's gonna be that, like, her lips are gonna kind of tense up, like, yeah, that, I completely understand. I would like to see a happy ending for you two. In all honesty, I was rooting for the both of you. How about this? I, in no uncertain terms, am going to inform you of what I plan to do. And if after I do that, you all still agree, then I will set you off on this quest, and upon its completion, I'll step in for more permanent matters. Does that sound fair?
Yeah. I don't have much to lose.
I'm afraid there's not much I can do about your coming demise. But I can bound your souls in service to me. That sounds a lot more grim than I intended it, but essentially, you'll stay up and kicking as long as you have this task to complete. And then, once it's done, I can bring you back. Now, I don't usually do this for people. I prefer them to accept their end, but this wasn't natural circumstances, so I feel perfectly fine in granting this to you. But the rest of you, what would you like? Again, I don't expect something for nothing. That's not how I was raised. She's going to start sipping at this tea again. And no one ever saw her pour more.
Damn, I want a magic refillable teacup.
Well, as Masoka pointed out, we wanted to go after her. And you said you can equip us with tools, and the mood of the evening is not dying. I think anything to assist us from that. I mean, there are other things I want, but this is the main thing, is not to die.
Right. And she'll kind of lean forward. Have you ever thought of eating more, young man? You're so skinny. I swear a stiff breeze would blow you over.
Oh my god.
Oh,
It's rough.
it's amazing I haven't converted yet.
Oh, you just got dissed on by a god.
Divine smite.
Oh.
And then the raven in the corner goes,
Yeah.
It's our hype man.
I actually was planning on doing just that. I can essentially simulate another few months out and about doing what you'd been doing, if that's all right with you. I don't want to take liberties.
Free levels. Yay. Yay.
She giving us, she's like uploading a training montage.
I know Kung Fu.
She has one, but she has a game chart. She enters the cheat
down,
code.
down.
Yeah.
And I almost spit all over the place. After
Sorry.
that. I know Kung Fu. Show me.
You tell us to ask for things. For what it's worth, for me, to be a more efficient tool of justice is more than enough.
Well, let me speak with my colleague, and I think that I might be able to get you just the right tool. I must warn you, they're a bit overzealous at times. For most people, I don't want to speak ill of them. They're doing their best.
You mean with regard to justice?
Yes, dear.
Well, in the absence of more straightforward guidance, our faith and our judgment is all we have here, mere mortals.
She's going to look at Amvin. You, particularly, young man, have been through quite a bit. May I ask what your long-term plans are? You don't anticipate adventuring forever, do you?
No, I don't. I'm a puzzle solver. That's my main. There are a few puzzles in this world I want to see completed. Some secrets out in some places that, in a sense, would make me last longer. I don't really care for fame. I don't want to retire in Umanuro and be with them. I want to see the world connected and bound for who they are what we are inside. And it's just not there. And so until then, I still want to solve the puzzles of everyone. Like, I know I'm being cryptic too. There was a gate that we found. And I think I have found ways to open it. And have some leads.
She's going to set her cup down again. Oh, that. Ah, you were this close, dear. I believe I can assist, if you'll allow me.
I raise an eyebrow, but nod.
She's going to take a deep breath and put both of her hands flat, palms down on the table. Maddy, Masoka. In the coming days, you are going to get very, very ill. And, unfortunately, through no fault of your own, quite unnaturally, you are going to die. And then within a few hours after that, you're going to wake back up. And things are going to be a bit different for a while. It might... it might take some getting used to. But it should be temporary. Do you both think that you can handle something like that?
Do our friends need to be afraid of us?
Oh, no. No, dear. You won't be, one of them. I believe the term on this plane is, revenant.
Oh.
Maddy knew what she was talking about, but hearing it out loud, she's going to take a sharp inhalation of breath. Like, oh my god. I've heard about these legends. And our task is complete when the Countess has been defeated?
Exactly, dear. No more, no less.
Okay. That sounds better than the other choice.
Well, I have a bias, but I would say it is. Well, I'm going to leave you for tonight. I need to get my beauty rest. A colleague of mine recently reached out. He's a bit more dramatic than I am about these things, and he gave a party a trinket. I'm not really about the flash and bother of it all, so I baked you these. And she's going to hand over cookies for the party. There's one for each of you. When you're ready, each of you just have a snack, and you should have feasibly everything you need to stand a fighting chance. And I wish you all of the luck. Your task will not be an easy one.
Why now? And Aster is just kind of like staring at her. I don't think they have any particular expression on their face. They're just...
I wish I could give you a better answer to that, my dear. The best I can say is that we're trying to balance things out. And she would reach out and grip Aster's hand. I understand that sometimes the world seems like a very bleak and hopeless place. But I assure you, you and your group are not alone. There are other people trying to make a difference. We just feel as though it's time to give them a firm foothold.
And it wasn't before?
We were indisposed, dear.
Okay.
She would look deep into Aster's eyes. I am so sorry. I wish there was something I can do to take back past transgressions. Sometimes the best we can do is learn and move forward.
I have a scale of my own that needs to be balanced if we make it out of this. I think I can understand.
Well, perhaps we could talk more about that when the day comes.
They'll nod. Then don't suppose you have any tips on ways to make arrows actually do anything to vampires?
Well, and she's going to look at Maddy. Some of you have the right idea. I feel as though you already know in your heart she's not invincible. She will be surrounded by devotees, though, and she is beyond cruel. There won't be an ounce of mercy in her. But again, I don't feel as though I'm giving you new information. I know you can do this. And she's going to stand up slowly. I should really get Mortimer to bed. He gets cranky after midnight.
Before you go, that might not be my place to ask this, but humbly, if you could pass on a message for me, that's all I would ask in return for this.
Of course.
But if you could tell my fair lady that I've been listening to her my whole life, but I just didn't know that I've been fooling myself lately, wearing someone else's armor, trying to meditate, trying to be someone I wasn't, but that only now I realize she's been at my side this whole time. Please tell Olandra that I know now that she's lit my fire and that I love her with all my heart.
I'm sure their ears are burning already, sweetie, but I'll pass it on.
Thank you.
And as she's shuffling up these stairs, be careful going back through the divide. It's been rather hectic recently. If you like, and something is going to materialize on the table, that should skip that portion of the journey if you so wish. It's a lantern that, when lit, well, you'll see what it does. Good night, everyone.
Skalnar inspects the cookie. Is it oatmeal raisin?
I would say these are more pecan sandies.
Ooh.
All right.
Okay, I was on the fence, but I'm in now.
Okay.
All right.
Donovan turns to Aster and say in like a lower voice with a smile again, but Aster, you don't have to eat that cookie. You can just give it to me and walk away if you want.
Sounds like someone that wants 2 cookies.
Very hungry.
That's the quote of the night right there.
That's really good. Okay.
No, I'm not leaving you guys after everything. And like I told her, I've got my own stuff to take care of if we get through this, and well, I could use a bit of help, so I'm in on this. I don't know what I think about everything right now, but I'm with you guys.
And I'll make sure that you make it through to see the other end of the deal, and that you get what you ask for.
If you guys just stand there in silence, like having a moment, you hear crunching out of the like Skalnar bites into his cookie.
It's so crunchy.
I just sent you a tweet right before that.
Oh,
Awesome.
The cookie monster.
Are we all partaking in cookies?
Yep.
Yep, I'm having some magic cookie.
Yeah, eating the cookie.
If it makes me feel better, then
I dip it in my tea.
the cookie.
Oh no, the power goes out. Oh, it loses power.
We don't need to like immediately get on the road. Like we can like go to sleep, right? Like it's
Oh, yeah, you're fine.
okay.
It's not pressing, whatever. It's just...
Can we sleep on our floor, or do we have to leave?
Do some
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. I
Yeah,
think
I
is
figured.
the last thing
I'd
she
be
says.
imposing a little bit.
Yeah. The hell out of my house.
Are you silly? Yeah.
There are inns. So, if you bite into these cookies, now I don't know if you step outside first. I don't know if you're still in this lady's dining room area. But a few things are going to happen. One, you're going to feel this warmth. Like, these are fresh baked. Like, just perfect. And there's going to almost be this it's like a hug you can eat. Right? Just very comforting, very, the worries of the night almost wash away. Like, it's not like you forget anything, but it's like, okay, things are going to be okay. We're going to make things right. Everyone's outfits are going to darken quite a bit.
Yo.
To help you blend in at night. And there's going to be this mild purple trim. You're all essentially wearing Raven Queen's SWAT team wear, basically.
Not
the insignia, just the color scheme. You're fine with your holy signals and everything. It's fine.
I mean, I'll add her to my prayer repertoire, but I'm kind of committed already.
That's fine. That's fine.
Skalnar looks over at Maddy, similarly conflicted.
Not changing. She's not asking you to convert. It's just like
just wear the other
this is a-
team's jersey.
just try it on for a
I'm
while.
Stealth
See how it
purposes.
feels.
It's not.
Yeah, that's
You're not signing anything.
I'm not assuming it's a whole palette swap for Aster because otherwise they'd be green and purple, and we don't want that.
yeah. This is like the shiny version of the Group A. This yeah. So,
okay, cool.
So you're also all going to gain 3 levels.
Oh, Raven Queen!
Holiest of molies. That's a lot.
Jeez.
Oh my god.
Does that mean I can get to roll 3 1d6?
We'll just give you 3 more HP.
3 whole
just
hit
to-
points in one.
Let's just cut to the
Oh
chase.
my
Oh.
So just a little bit of reflection. If we're gaining 3 levels to prepare us to go after the Countess, I'm really glad Ubo didn't pick that fight when we were.
Oh,
in
I'm really
banquet.
glad you didn't pick that fight.
Yeah, like
She would have devoured the party easily. Like,
Yeah.
I still do not expect us to make it out of this alive. I'm gonna be honest.
I expect to meet at least another god on their way.
Hey, 2 of
Get
us have
3 more.
revenant powers. We're fine.
I mean, your
Yeah.
revenant power is you get knocked down, but you get up again.
Yeah,
Wow.
we're Chumbawamba.
You are tub thumping. Yes.
New
you-
group
yes.
name. New group.
Boy. Tried pushing the other one so much.
Yeah, we go
What a
go
time
shop.
to quit drinking.
I need to get a magic weapon, guys.
We got this in the bag. We can tell the Donhurst people to just come with us. They can just like start packing and moving in again.
So,
It's
here's
in
a
the
couple
bag.
of other things. You're all going to notice that any one of you wearing holy symbols, there's going to be a faint glow to them. This radiant shine. And you instinctively feel as though that this is going to really hurt the undead. Like, there's just this feeling. Like you are finely tuned weapons being pointed in a direction. And in each of your packs, you are going to find full rations, waters, refill, all that stuff. And on top of that, any wear and tear that was given to your items in any way, shape, or form has been repaired unless it's sentimental.
All right, it's
I-
morphin' time.
I have
think
a
so.
very important question.
Hit me.
Do I feel like I can finally use that damn hammer I've had for over a year?
Yes, you do. In fact, you feel compelled to really let someone have it. Actually, you know what? Let me take a look. At each of your... Let me take a look. Oh, yeah.
Refilling all my arrows.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
You
I
know
have
what?
more for you. I had some for Clifford.
Oh.
I will take them.
Can we
Speaking
make
of
some
Clifford,
special requests?
Speaking of Clifford,
Here's what I'm going to do. Anyone who doesn't have a +1 weapon is getting a +1 weapon.
Yes!
Ooh.
Anybody who has a +1 weapon is getting a +2 weapon.
Oh, jeez, Maddy.
Oh my god!
Do
I
both
think
of my
it's like
weapons become +1 weapons? I use 2 weapons.
You do, and yes.
So
Do
is
they-
it the same weapon imbued, or do we get a new one?
Yeah, I was gonna say, do they get like really cool and like raven patterns and stuff?
I was going to give you something themed,
Yes.
if that's all right.
All right, we're blowing the special effects budget, you guys.
Oh,
We get to go out in
this-
style.
So the staff that I use is going to be a +1 that I don't use.
Well, I mean,
I'm just curious.
you could
like-
start using it.
Right. It's for one of my. I'm just curious if.
I can actually hit the vampires and do damage now, guys.
Ooh, I'm at
Now,
+2. It's gonna be
I
awesome.
need you guys to understand that even with these things, it's gonna be hard.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah,
would
yeah, yeah.
expect the ending, let's say, from dusk till dawn. Expect that.
Every encounter is hard for me.
You never get
Who
hit.
hit me? Wait. Did my shield go up?
You've
I
been
hit you with an
targeted the
11.
whole game.
That's the secret. Like, Maddy's been a double agent the entire time. Maddy was a Skrull. Guys, I think that's a good time for us to stop for the evening.
It's a nice little spot of hope for this group. I like it.
Yeah. And
Can I,
I'm just
can I address one
being
little?
silly. This is awesome.
Sure.
Thank you.
Please.
Can I address one little plot hole?
Please.
What?
Clifford.
Yes.
Yeah,
So- We're gonna deal with that next time.
yeah. That's gonna be a next.
I
session.
kinda
That
figured-
would have been a good. Hey, could you heal Clifford?
Oh yeah, man,
Well,
that would have been a thing to
I
ask.
don't
Raven
think that's
Queen's
the-
thing
yeah.
is kind of death.
Yeah, that's not.
yeah,
that's.
but she's doing favors for me.
But you're not dead already is the thing. Like I feel like
You're 1 foot through the door.
yeah.
Honestly,
All right.
Clifford might be in a better place now.
Yeah.
I was like, Maddy, this is your choice. You can res him if you really want to, but that poor kid, his life is gonna suck.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
don't
saying
feel-
Maddie's
Wait.
probably still thinking about that.
I mean, yeah, and
Well-
here's the thing. It gets wonky when you talk about vampires. It's not that resurrecting just a regular person is any less complicated, but it's... Fucking Susan read the book. It's fine.
Yeah.
Like, you get it.
Yeah. And now that Maddie's met the god of death, she knows that Clifford's in good hands.
Right, you know
She's
that there
sweet.
are people on the other side looking out.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Good to see Corey's doing okay.
Yeah. Oh.
I was gonna do the parent question, and I was like, no.
There's a good chasing you did, Jamie.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Jamie,
she's
thanks
had
for
plenty of
joining
time.
us.
Yeah, she's had plenty of time to work on it. Man, we really hope you guys enjoyed today's show. We're coming up on the end of Arc 3, probably within the next few months, so get yourselves ready for that. There are exclusive new shirt designs up in our store. We're going to be adding those and kind of sprinkling them out throughout the next couple of months. And don't forget to check out worldanvil.com. They are an awesome group of people. Seriously, you get 20% off a 6-month or 12-month subscription. The entire thing is free to use if you want to try it out and get your feet wet for a while. But if you use the codes DNR or Dungeons and Randomness, all spelled out, then you will get 20% off of those 6-month or 12-month subscriptions. Again, we've been using them for years, and it really kind of whipped everything into shape. It works great as a wiki, and Steve, our wiki guy, has been operating it now for a long time. On top of that, if you guys want to swing on over to patreon.com, we are just uploading tons of stuff this month. We have brand new Epic games, and we're just about to bump one of the Epic games into the $1 tier, because we have kind of a trickle-down system. You get it on delay. So that's patreon.com/DANDR, and we will see you guys next week. Please stay safe, everyone, and make sure to send us your emails if you have any questions, comments, or concerns at dandrpodcast@gmail.com. We'll see you next week, guys. Bye.